Hello friends, it's Nicole from Flower Hill Farm, and today we are going to head to Sunflower Steve's farm in Wisconsin, where he's going to give us some updates on the stuff that he's been showing us for months now. Remember when we were back at his farm in April, he was showing us how he got the soil ready and got the fields prepped, and now he's going to show us what those fields look like today. Now these video clips were shot just a few days ago, so this is what it looks like in early July. Very exciting, but before we head over to Sunflower Steve, I thought I would tell you the story about how I came up with his name. So Steve, if you heard the story, Sunflower Steve and I have been talking almost every day for over a year now, and I was having a hard time remembering where he was from. And at first I kept saying that he was from Minnesota, and I think that's because he was actually born in Minnesota and he was a transplant. He transplanted into Wisconsin, and so I kept telling people, yeah, there's this farmer in Minnesota, and I'm going, wait, no, he's not from Minnesota, he's from Wisconsin. How am I gonna remember this? And my uncle's a huge Green Bay Packer fan, so I started calling him Cheesehead Steve. And that's how I remembered where he was from. And I'm like, well, that's not really a very catchy or flattering name. So one day I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna call you Sunflower Steve. And that's how I put him in my phone. At first it was just Steve Flowers. You know how you put people in your phone to remember what they're for? Well, I do anyway. As a journalist, I have thousands of contacts in my phone, and who's what and why am I talking to this person, and I always put a little summary of what they're about in my contacts. So I put Steve Flowers, and then finally I was like, all right, Cheesehead Steve, I think I'm gonna change your name to Sunflower Steve, and that just stuck, and I'm so glad that it did, because it just is so fitting for someone who's been working on this sunflower project for so long. Anyway, that's the story about how I call him Sunflower Steve. Anyway, let's head over to his farm in Wisconsin.
Good morning, guys. I was going to take you on a quick farm tour here. I've got a little bit of time here before the sun comes up to shoot some quick video of what's going on the farm with all the different plantings. So I thought before I run over to the cities this morning, I've got to go over and get supplies. I've got to get rubber bands and sleeves and UPC codes and all that fun stuff for the upcoming sunflower avalanche that's about to happen. So I just thought I'd take you on a quick tour of all the fields that are going on, throw in a little bit of the pinching that Bethany and I did of the dahlias the other day, and just give you a quick update. It's going to be a speed update today, so let's get to it. So here's a little farm update on our dahlia patch. Bethany and I planted, how many did we plant? 66? I think we planted 66 of them, and only 5 didn't come up. And then since then we had a cat play with and kill one. So we're sitting at like 59, I think. So anyway, we're gonna do a little pinching today. I've done some pinching already because Bethany's been away at camp, but she's home. So we're gonna pinch a couple of the, what's the front one there, honey?
Valley Tawny.
Valley Tawny. So go ahead, set the cat down. And try not to cut the cat. Yeah. Perfect. Okay, now we're gonna pinch, what's it called?
Crichton Honey.
Crichton Honey. 2 of them there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, here comes Minnie to help you out. Got it? Yeah. All right. So we don't know if this one's French doll or French roll because we couldn't really read the package that good. All right, we got them all. We'll check back on them. Thanks, honey.
I wonder if you plant this.
See you later.
Bye.
Okay, that was the dahlia update. So now we're standing in the maroon and lemon fleck field. It's growing great. We'll give it a proper name someday, but for right now, most of the flowers in here are either maroon with lemon or lemon with maroon. There's the name. So I would say right now, I only have about 1% singles in here that I have to cull, and another 4 or 5% of the wrong color in this field that I have to cull. By that I mean off with their head. Hi, cat. Ow, cat's using my leg as a scratching post. Anyway, so this field's growing great. I'd say in another 5 days it'll be in full bloom, and I'll try to maybe get some aerial footage of that with my drone. So this field's doing fantastic. On to the next field. That hurt. So here I am in the planting I did for you guys, planting number 2. I was here almost 3 weeks ago, and it was just up to my knees. So now you can see through the progression, it's now up to almost my shoulders. This should be blooming in the next 14 to 20 days, somewhere in there, depending on the heat and the moisture we get. And as soon as it does, I'm hoping to be able to set the tripod up right there and take you every single day through the cutting process, and we'll see how the whole field disappears in about a week. So, all right, so this is planting number 2. I'm gonna go back up on the road and do a quick panel of all the rest of them. So up to the road. Here we are up on the road to do a quick panel. So on the very end there, that's planting number 1. It's a little shorter there because the soil is kind of crappy. The gap in between is where the autumns are. Then there's planting number 2, the one I did for you guys. Then next to that is planting number 3, and then there's planting number 4. Remember, it had the kind of crappy spot in it. Now that's all filled in. And then planting number 5 is right there. And so now we will run back to the back 40, where plantings number 6, 7, 8, and 9 are, and a double mix as well. Here we are at the first half of planting number 1, and this will be starting to bloom in like 3 or 4 days. I got a couple, that one right there showing some yellow on the face. There's another one down here that's starting to show some yellow on the face. This one actually is perfect cutting stage. Believe it or not, that's what we cut them at. You can see the petals are just starting to lift off the face. That's when we cut them. So, a couple early birds there. I'll probably sweep through and get maybe 20 or 30 out of here for a local florist. But in about 3 or 4 days, Katie barred the door. So anyway, this is planting number 1. All right, we'll head back to the back 40. Oh, good. A cloud just came in the way of the sun, so I won't be squinting this time. So anyway, here I am in the first planting of mix. It's the total mix of all the different colors, shapes, sizes. Be a lot more culling in here of singles because it's like 3 or 4 generations ago of the doubles, but you can see how much it's grown. I planted this here specifically because it has the trees on this side to protect from winds. It's in a low area in case we had a drought like we kind of had, so any moisture would come to this end. However, that 5 inches of rain we got on Father's Day, thank goodness, all washed. I think most of the fertilizer from the rest of the field into here. Down there in the middle, these things are already like 6 feet tall, and these are still 3 weeks to bloom. So I have to imagine the ones down there are going to be 8 or 9 feet tall, just because the conditions are so great for it. I think for the most part, this is going to be a 4 to 6 foot flower. Anyway, so they just started blooming. I did have one early bloomer I saw down there, so I marked that. Anything that's blooming extra early, I'm marking, and I'm going to take all those out and plant them in a separate field next year to see if I can get an earlier blooming sunflower. So here's the mix. I'll show you what it looks like in a couple weeks. Here's a quick view from Pride Rock that you've seen before if you watched the video from back in April. So right in front of us, the dirt there, that's a new field I opened up for next year. It's almost an acre. It runs from there all the way behind these trees that you can't see. But anyway, that's a new field for sunflowers for next year. Plantings 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are up there. That's where I was. That's where the road is. And then that's plantings 6, 7, 8, and 9 plus the mix field. So now we'll be heading over behind our farm there, behind those trees. That's where the gold maroon is, and then my second mix, and that's where the hydrangeas, lilacs, and all that stuff is. So, I'll show the hydrangeas really quick too, what they look like since I butchered those back in March. All right, let's head over there. So here I am, and the hydrangeas that I cut back so hard back in, well, April or May, I don't remember what it was, but you remember I took them down with my big gas-powered sickle. They're looking fantastic. Not as many stems on these. These are going to be about 5 foot tall with the nice big heads on them. These ones here I took off at the crown, so they'll only be, 2.5 to 3 foot long with the nice small softball size heads on them, which are a lot easier to use in bouquets. These are more of a specialty novelty for big vases. But anyway, the hydrangeas, I didn't kill them when I took them apart with that big old gas-powered sickle bar. So all right, let's head to the rest of the sunflowers now. Okay, so here we are in my surprise field. This is the nutsedge field that I was totally disappointed in. But after the last video, I had my guys run through here with the weed whackers and take down all the nutsedge in the rows. And then I came through with 10-10-10 fertilizer and threw it down, side dressed everything. And then my prayers were answered, and we had 5 inches of rain on Father's Day. It was fantastic. And all that nutrients and wiping out the nutsedge for competition, this field grew. I mean, way bigger than I thought it'd be. So it's going to be that 4 to 6 foot tall. Perfect for being able to go through and rogue out the ones that don't belong there. Perfect for harvesting seeds. I couldn't be happier now. So it just goes to show you in the farming thing, sometimes you just got to wait it out and see what you get. So this is what I'm shooting for here. the maroon and gold, the golden gopher. I don't think they'll let me use the name, but I might call it GG. Golden gopher, GG. Anyway, I'll show you a couple close-ups of what I'm shooting for in this field. So this is what I'm shooting for. You can see it's a nice fuzzy double. I'll take semi-doubles too. It's kind of hard to tell in this light. It looks blackish, but that's actually a maroon color. So it's maroon and gold. This one's really pretty, but it's an interloper. It's the wrong color. It's a lemon and maroon, so off with its head. Ah! So now this one I will actually keep, even though it's not a multicolored, it's a good color orange. It's a really nice deep orange, and it's a double. Might not be a fully double, but it looks really good. So I'll keep this one in this field so it can cross with the other ones. And as long as it has the double traits and the goldness, I'm okay with keeping it. Now this one down here again, gonna be a pretty flower, but it's a single. Gotta go. This one here, same thing. It's gonna be a lemon and maroon. Gotta go. All right, let's go check the other fields out now. So here we are in the last field. This is the last field I did last time too. It's a mix, just like the mix over in the back 40. They were about this tall last time I was here. Now they're up to my hips. They're doing great. They have 5 inches of rain that we got on Father's Day. That was a season saver. It looks like we're supposed to get rain again today, right? We're praying, we're hoping, we're praying. Anyway, so that's the tour. Things are looking great. This one will do the same thing. We'll just cull out all the singles, all the misshapen ones to get a mix out of this field. I'm going to do my best to get a full video on the whole harvesting of planting number 2 from the beginning to the end, so you can watch the whole field disappear over the process of a week, and watch how the guys process all of them in the barn, and then maybe even get some delivery on video if I can. But anyway, that's my goal. And thanks for running around the farm with me. I'm going to head back to Nicole now in New York. You guys all have a blessed day, and Steve out.
Steve jokes with me all the time about how I would have a hard time roguing, meaning going through the field and cutting out the ones that don't match and don't look like the type. That's a very important job, and it's a necessity when you're developing seeds, but he jokes that I could never do it. Nicole, this job is too tough for you. I concur. But I do cut the heads off of things all the time, and that brings me to some updates at my farm, which I'm going to be filming a tour tomorrow because it has been just rainy and yucky and miserable. But I've got my first Banary Giant zinnias, and they look fantastic. I got actually quite a few here that I'm harvesting, and guys, they're huge. Look at them, they're huge. Last year I grew mostly Oklahomas, and Oklahomas grow this size. Look at the difference. This is an Oklahoma zinnia, this is a Banary Giant. There is a huge difference in variety. I hear all the time people send me pictures and say, why aren't my zinnias huge? I said, what variety are you growing? Because that does make a difference. Anyway, so we've got a ton, actually, I've got just some gorgeous flowers here. So tomorrow I'll bring you guys down into the 14 and give you guys an update, because it's been a few weeks since we've been down there and there have been some major changes. If you follow me on Instagram, then you'll see we've got a lot of things going on. I post a lot in my Instagram stories. But speaking of Instagram, Sunflower Steve is now on Instagram, so you can follow along. He's been posting every day. He's only been on there for like 3 days. Thank you guys so much for sticking around, and I'll be giving you guys a tour later on this week. I'm so excited. We'll see you soon.
I'll run over to the Twin Cities really quick this morning and pick up supplies for the oncoming, holy crap. Morning, guys. I've got to run over to the Twin Cities this morning and pick up supplies for the oncoming, oh my God, that's 2 in a row. Good morning, guys. I've got to run over to the Twin Cities this morning and pick up supplies for the oncoming, oh my gosh, 3 in a row. 2, 1. Good morning, guys. I've got to, I can't even do it now. Oh my goodness. Jeez.
I am standing under the porch and it's still too bright for me. Oh. Where's my hat? Oh, Brad's got the tractor out. There he is. Can you see him? Can you see him? What's he doing? I'm gonna go find out. Where are you going? I don't know.